Start that right back over, baby boy. Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Listen, you're in a privileged position to learn a thing or two. Keep your mouth shut and your ears open. Church.
Y'all already know what time it is, man. BiggDoggChico, back up in this thing once again. Appreciate everybody joining in. We want to talk about a few things that went on today. All right. We want to see about everybody that's joining in today. Make sure y'all hit me in the comments. We're going to highlight some comments. We're going to talk about some things that's going on. We're going to talk about the new players that's being brought in by Colorado. And that is, as of today, we've gotten some new signees. Mizzou Edge transfer Arden Walker has committed to Colorado. I know you guys might have heard the news already, but we're discussing it right here, right now. Shouts out to Ed in Houston. Eric Teeth, y'all already know what time it is, man. We're up in this thing talking about the new signees and impact players for Colorado. Crooklyn in the building. You already know what's happening. Jonathan Bernard, what's up with you? So, y'all got some discussions. Let's get them in the chats right now, and make sure I highlight you guys that's in the chats. If you haven't joined and subscribed yet, make sure you do so. Make sure you become an official Big Dog. Get down in the comments. Get down below and get you some merch. Get your merch and represent for your boy and for yourself. You already know what it is, man. So Missouri Edge Arden Walker transferred. He's coming over. He's from Denver originally, so he's coming home pretty much. Cherry Creek grad, along with a couple other players on the team. They're from Cherry Creek. He didn't play too much, but he played more than the other two guys that signed on. Walker tallied 11 tackles in 16 games and played that he played during Missouri time and started in their bowl game last season. His dad also played for the Buffs in the glory days. So you got a legacy type buff coming back. And he'll be there in Colorado with Coach Prime. Let me know what y'all thinking. We're going to go to the next guy who signed on, and that was the Ole Miss D-line transfer. I was working on the video for him and ended up not even just putting it out, but he came over from Ole Miss. He had that one sack versus Georgia Tech. He's a big fella, too. He was a 3-star coming out of high school, 6'1", 290 pounds. That's J.J. Hawkins. He's coming out to Boulder, along with Liberty transfer offensive lineman Reggie Young. He has committed to Colorado. He was projected to start at left tackle for the Flames this fall. He was a 2022 3-star JUCO recruit and listed 6'4", 270 pounds. Also, we reported yesterday that another transfer from FSU, that was D-tackle Bishop Thomas. He came over. Also, you had Southern Utah transfer safety Roderick Ward committed. He came over along with Baylor transfer wide receiver Jaden Ellis, who flipped from West Virginia University. That's who I mentioned in my last podcast. Marshall transfer wide receiver E.J. Horton. He's committed. Super fast wide receiver. Also, Colorado got the 5-star from UW, Savelle Small. So we're going to talk about some impact players and some newcomers coming over for Colorado and Coach Prime. And all I got to say is this, man. Get ready. Get ready. It's not going to be the same season like last year. It's not going to be anything that you've seen before. This is Shedeur Sanders. This is Shedeur Sanders being that number one guy in a Power 5. Go ahead and get ready for it. He ain't no joke. Y'all, everybody been. We'll get to that. Let's go ahead and continue on this one right here. I was going to go on to Shedeur rant like I always do. When are we going to get another one of those film sessions? Terrence Mills said, I was about to do one today, but I couldn't get the right film. If I can't get the right film on the guy, I'm not going to do any film. I don't want to do a real high school film. I want college film. Like for this guy, J.J. Hawkins, I had a couple plays from him from Ole Miss in the game that he got the sack. But that was going to be copyrighted. They're killing me on the copyright. So I got to find a way to get them. Hopefully they can send me some footage or I can get it from their Twitter pages or that Instagram page, and I'll make sure I give you some breakdowns. But during the season, it's going down. During the season, we're gonna have breakdown after breakdown, pretty much play for play, game by game, uh, pretty much constantly going during the season for the breakdown. So I appreciate that, T Mill. Bishop Thomas, my new favorite player, is what Air Teeth said. I like Bishop too. And Air Teeth, you should like Bishop. With the one missing tooth right there, yeah. But the guy can ball up the middle. That's what they need, that push up the middle. They need that pressure up the middle, which they're going to get. They brought in about 4 or 5 to go along with the 2 they had that's staying, outside edge rushers, maybe 3 that's staying actually, outside edge rushers. So we can talk about a few other guys. Make sure y'all hit me in the comments. Anybody y'all want to know about, hit me in the comments. Let me know. But both Hawkins and Walker played somewhat sparingly last season as a redshirt freshman. The former, Walker, or actually Hawkins, made 1 tackle in 4 games played for the Rebels, while Walker saw action in 12 games, including the start in the Tigers' regular season finale, and recorded 6 tackles on the year. So a lot of these guys didn't get a lot of tackles, of course, coming out. They didn't get a lot of tackles coming out, but like I said before, a lot of people are stuck behind other guys on the depth chart. Not because they want to be, of course not, but because of that's how it's set up. That's how the coaches have them ranked as far as the depth chart go, and could be a bunch of other things. You got guys like the reason why I didn't go to Auburn. I didn't want to get behind a legacy guy, somebody who dad had went there, and now they got to make sure they play him. Not me, coach. I didn't want to do that. I want to play as a freshman. If I know I'm good enough, then I want to play as a freshman. Speaking of being good enough, let's go ahead and hit a comment right quick. Hope they get Connor Gilbert, the tight end. Yeah, they need another 2 tight ends. Who I like at safety. All right, I gotta edit this video up and put it out there. But Shedeur Sanders is bringing the attitude at that safety position, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody to bring some attitude. And Shiloh, as he said in the video, he's bringing the attitude to where, and it's infectious. It passes on, and it gets to the other teammates to where they get hyped, they get crunk, and they get a situation where, we're listening to Shiloh back there, so we want to stay on point. You know what I mean? And Shiloh is a vocal leader, which is needed on that defense. And like I say, he brings that attitude, and that attitude is like the main thing on defense. You got to have a certain type of mentality and attitude to ball out on defense. That's what he's going to bring, hopefully, to this Colorado defense. As far as another safety back there with him, I can look at the whole roster right here and tell you guys. But that other safety, the guy who came from, a lot of people are going to point out the kid from Florida State who came over. I'm going to talk about, you better watch out for that kid who came from Southern Utah. Bunch of tackles, all conference, sideline to sideline guy. Anything in front, he's coming down to make that tackle. He can make an impact on special teams. He's going to be a guy to watch. Cooper, Robinson, Ward, and Shiloh lock is what Eric Teef said. I would say, like I said, I like Shiloh. I like the kid from Southern Utah. The guy from Florida State is a hybrid. He can cover also. Slusher, I like Slush, but if he don't improve his coverage skills, he might cover tight ends better than he do wide receivers. But if he doesn't improve his coverage skills, then he'll probably be reduced to more of a maybe a rundown guy or just special teams, punt return, kickoff, things like that. But he's a good tackler, sure tackler, played in the SEC, has that experience. So he could possibly see the field this year. But I would say Shiloh, because Shiloh's rangy ability, Shiloh's attitude, Shiloh's ability to get picks, ball skills, coverage skills, tackling, he could do it all sideline to sideline. If he's healthy, he can ball out. All right. From FSU and Robinson from Alabama ready. Yeah, I think so too. Those guys are going to be ready to ball. There's going to be a lot of competition in that backfield for Colorado. Like those guys are going to be battling out in practice all day, along with the wide receivers, because they got a lot of Florida boy wide receivers, a lot of guys who's looking to play at wide receivers. I counted 12 guys who could actually play at wide receiver for Colorado, and that's going to be. I think the rotation Coach Sean Lewis is going to want to have, though. Think about this: the rotation he's going to look for, though, is say somebody run a go route or a deep post. Why have that guy run back to the line of scrimmage and line up again? If 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 um if I'm the coach, if I see anybody run a route 20 yards down the field, your job is this. And I'm going to bang it into their head. We'll do it at practice also. Your job is this. Just keep on running and going off the field and hit the sidelines. We're going to bring somebody else in, right there at the line of scrimmage because we want plays to go like this. Instead of waiting for a guy to come all the way back downfield, just run off the field. You run a post route, you don't get the ball, it's an incompletion or something, going off the field, we bring another guy in. That's why they want to have that complete rotation of wide receivers to where, it doesn't matter whether you go first string, second string, or third string. All of them are dogs. All of them are dogs. I call them the Hellcats because I call them guys the Hellcats because let me see if I can pull this up. But I call them the Hellcats definitely just because of that reason, because you can put in any one of them and all of them can get downfield. All of them run like 4.3s. All of them are big time ballers. I don't know if Shane Hooks is going to actually come. I don't even think they really need Shane Hooks right now with the guys they have. But a lot of guys they did bring over are the smaller guys, 6-foot guys type. And we got us a super chat. Appreciate that, Lawrence RBE. Big Dog, I gotta ask, is Snoop Dogg a part of your channel? And secondly, how do you think Sean Lewis will use 20 wide receivers? And are you feeling better about the trenches? I appreciate that, my dog. Make sure I go ahead and highlight that. Star comment on that thing. Appreciate that. So I'll answer these questions right quick. Like we'll start talking about the wide receivers as we were doing right there. The wide receivers, they got like 12 I counted that can play. I'm sure a lot of them are going to red shirt, but let's just say we got 12, right? So we got 4 positions. That's 3 deep at each one, right? 3, 6, 9, 12. That's right. So we 3 deep across the board, 4 positions. We're not going to really put our tight ends in that slot position unless we really need to. Maybe goal line position, maybe mismatch. But other than that, we got 4 wide receivers out here for Shedeur. Slot right there, slot here, 2 outside. So I'm going to say if I'm in the slot, if I'm looking in the slot, see if I can pull it up right quick. But if I'm looking in the slot at the top of my head, I'm going Jimmy Horn Jr. Bam, right there on that right side of the slot, strong side slot, Jimmy Horn Jr. All right. Depending on one of them freshmen balling out, I think Omarion Miller or Adam Hopkins can be also on the field. On the outside, I like Xavier Weaver to start. I like E.J. Horton to either be on the opposite side of him or behind Xavier Weaver. Travis Hunter. So you got an X, you got a Y, you got a Z receiver. Then you can call that one a W or H right there at wide receiver. So the rotation is going to be, if you run a deep route, you just run off the field. We got another guy coming in. And then maybe you can come back the next play. But none of this run the deep route. Then I got to jog back to the huddle, get the play, or I got to jog back downfield, get the play 30 yards. Nah, no need for that. That stuff is out the window for Sean Payton offense. You run a deep route, you go on to the sideline. If you don't get the ball, we're going to run the next play within 15 seconds. We want to be lined up within 10 seconds. We want to run the play within 12 to 15 seconds. And that's what they're looking for. That's how they're going to rotate those 20 receivers. 4 to 5 of them will be, if they have actually 20, 5 or 6 of them actually will probably be red shirt. A lot of those freshmen or guys who are not ready yet, maybe injuries, whatever. But that's the only way I can see rotating that many receivers. Are you feeling better about the trenches? I am feeling better about the trenches. I would like to have Big Sean, I think his name Williams or Washington, come over. Williams come over from Georgia. He's from New Orleans originally. If he can come over from Georgia and kind of solidify the middle of that line, then that's what I would like to see right there. That's what I would like to see. Make sure I highlight that thing right there. All right. And is Snoop Dogg a part of your channel? Now, this is my channel. I'm the big dog, BIWDOW. Snoop is my unk, you know what I mean? As he's most people unk, but yeah, I did meet Snoop Dogg a few times. I'm not gonna get in on a lot of that. But did he do some things for me on this channel? That was a situation where Snoop is promoting this app, and we use it for the company, and a lot of other people doing it now. So I just kind of went away from it. I might go back to it, but yeah, that's the boss dog. I got a video either on this channel or my other channel with Snoop while he was out here in Hawaii. Also, check that out if you get a chance. I think you can just type in Big Dog Chico and Snoop Dogg, and something should come up. Something should come up. Hopefully, none of the stuff come up when we was in the green room. You feel me? Ed Houston, what's happening? Don't really need hooks. Not hating, just saying. I say that also. I say it also, just because. And also, you had three other wide receivers who was on the visit, who was 6'3" or more. You had more wide receivers there. A lot of people asking personal. Let me see. VHF, what position did you play at UAB? At UAB, I played you could say H-back. So I would play. I went up and down in weight. I was kind of like Zico actually, but instead of leaving like Zico did, that year I bulked up. I got to about two. So I'll tell you this. All right, so from high school, I got recruited at defensive end and outside linebacker by all the SEC schools, right? Georgia, Florida, yeah, Florida, Auburn, Alabama. Alabama was on probation, so I didn't go there. Tennessee, Kentucky, Michigan. You go on. I got recruited. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Southern Miss, all these schools for outside linebacker, defensive end. But I had a high school coach who knew I made All-State also at tight end. But of course, I didn't have the so-called prerequisite height, 6'2". So I went to an offense at UAB that uses 4 wide receivers, just like this Sean Payton offense, Sean Lewis offense. I went to an offense that uses 4 wide receivers. So instead of them trying to incorporate me, using me in past situations, they wanted to either be a blocker. That's why I understand the Zico situation so well. They wanted you to either be a blocker, a big blocker, end of the line guy, or you go out there and play wide receiver. So the coach came up to me, I don't really know what to do with you. He said that my sophomore year. This after I made catches as a true freshman versus Central Florida, South Florida, and so on, all these other schools that we played. Florida State, Florida, had catches versus them as a freshman, right? So then you come the next year. Well, Chico, we using 4 wide receivers. We don't want to. So, anyways, long story short, yeah, I was like Zico, and I never did go play defense in college like I was recruited as, and ended up playing overseas arena football. Went back to defense, led my team in sacks. It's crazy. So I had a chance to play in the league also, and the Canadian Football League. So a lot of different situations, injuries, and so on. So we could talk about other stuff. So if y'all know Roddy White, shout out to Roddy White. Falcon, great. He did his thing from UAB. Shout out to Daryl Hackney also. Hey, bro, did you play at UAB during the same time they played UGA? Yep. How was that experience, and what was the different skill set and size from a depth perspective? Here's the thing. Great question right there. I appreciate that, Surfer Boy 3000. We played at Georgia, right? Now, this is coming from getting recruited by Georgia heavily at linebacker. Go to the Georgia camp and they tell me, one of the coaches say, "Hey, coach, you got us a linebacker right here." Offer it on the spot. I was at the same camp with Kellen Winslow Jr., actually, and they treated him like a god. But Kellen Winslow Jr. was at the same camp that I went to, that I got offered at Georgia. Didn't take that offer. Ended up going to UAB with my high school coach. Played Georgia, I think, my sophomore year, maybe the freshman year. But we lost by 3 points, I think. And we had a bunch of Georgia boys. Our quarterback, Darrell Hackney from Georgia, Roddy White from South Carolina, bunch of guys. I was from Alabama, a bunch of guys. But we lost by 3 points. Played against, who was I blocking? David Pollock. Is that the big white guy? He wore number 47 at Georgia. He's a commentator now. David Pollock, he broke his neck. Yeah, David Pollock. And who else is on that team? Big Benjamin Watson. Boy, I ain't never seen no guns like that before. That boy got in this stance, and you can see his tricep muscle pop out. I'm talking about huge Ben Watson, who went and played for the Patriots. Yep. So that was a great game right there. Actually, did I have? I think I had a good game blocking that game. I didn't have a great game catching that game, but uh, overall, as far as what you see, here's the difference: the facilities and the strength and conditioning programs, the food programs. Uh, as far as the athletes go, the athletes can be here, but once you get into a certain program, you're gonna raise up. You get to that good food program, you're gonna raise up. Get to that weight program, you're gonna raise up. You get resources, you're gonna raise up. I went to UAB without even visiting them fully. You know what I mean? I visited Georgia, Auburn, uh, all the big schools except for Southern Miss came and picked me up on a Sunday trying to get me to sign. But I went to all these schools, right, and visited. And then when UAB came and offered me, I just figured, oh, they said they're D1, so they look just like these other schools I went to. Georgia had their own cafeteria for football players. Where they do that at? I ain't never seen that. They had steak and potatoes, only the good meals, the stuff you see on Colorado, well-off page, them eating good. Um, that's what Georgia was doing back in 2000. You feel me? Damn, that's 20 years ago. Some of y'all wasn't even born, little old baby birds or something. You know what I mean? Shout out to you though. But back then, Georgia had their own facilities and everything, just like you see nowadays. And I just assumed that UAB had this, and I was totally wrong. It was a culture shock when I got there. But the thing was, there was so much talent there because Alabama was on probation during that time, going to the next 3 years. So a lot of Alabama recruits didn't go to Alabama because they couldn't go to a bowl game. A lot of them were recruited by Coach George Pugh, who played at Alabama, who ended up coaching at UAB, who coached my school a couple years before that. So I knew him from being a freshman in high school. He told me, hey, man, you got all these schools looking at you. You come up here, play with us. We going to, and this before NIL deals. I'll never forget that. He told me, we're going to pay for you this, we're going to pay for you that. Man, he told me a bunch of lies. I'll say it right here on it. Called his name and everything. He told me a bunch of lies to get us to go to UAB. But I ended up to go there with Darryl Hackney, Roddy White, bunch of other D1 players who ended up playing professionally, whether it's Arena Football League, some in NFL, some overseas, some in Canada, wherever. People don't realize you can go play football in places way over somewhere and live a great life. Be the Ray Lewis of that league. Shout out to BJ Beatty, the former Colorado Buff, who's playing right now his final season in Japan. He's been playing since, 2006 or 8 in Japan, getting money, playing football. I played in Austria, culture shock, but loved it. I'm out here. We only practice 2 times a week. It ain't even that serious, but you get paid like a pro. I'll take it. So that was my little journey. Yeah, we played at UGA, we played at Florida State, and the caliber of players is not like I said. Roddy White was on my team, so he's a Falcon great. But the point is, we didn't have a lot of Roddy Whites. You feel me? Like Georgia had a bunch of players that they could just rotate in and out, and all of them would be high caliber players. We had probably one here, one there at that position, here, there, boom, boom, boom. Probably our first string, was mostly dogs. After that, after you drop down, some of the guys, shout out to Joe Webb too, who went to UAB. I'm going to name drop for you guys. Shout out to Joe Webb, who played about 14 years in the league. If y'all know Joe Webb, put it in the comments. Let me know. Joe Webb. Shout out to, if you're a country music fan, shout out to Sam Hunt, the country music star, who performed at the Super Bowl. Sam Hunt, played with him. He was my quarterback also. Man, a bunch of guys. That Brian Thomas, who played with the Jets, who was drafted in the first round. Shout out to BT. He told me right then, man, you should be playing defensive end. So it's a bunch of guys that's out there that Coach Prime can bring in, is what I'm trying to say, I guess, by answering these questions. It's a bunch of guys Coach Prime can go out there and get. They can bring in that's at the bottom of depth charts, but they can really play because they're at a school like a Georgia, Bama, Florida State, who are stacked with these players all day. and that way they can lose a few and still stay on top. But Coach Prime can come and pluck those guys, and great. Original, mine is a terrible thing to waste. So please, what are you talking about? Let me see. Appreciate the content. If you were being recruited and you had Coach Prime calling you or another school saying we got NIL, who would you go with? It's not in. I know it's not black and white. I guess you're trying to say other considerations to think. Well, I got a little cousin that's in Alabama. He's going to be highly rated, but he's not coming out 2026. So I said, who knows where Coach Prime will be by then? But if I'm an athlete coming out right now, and I get any type of interest from Coach Prime, he said he ain't hard to find. You're going to have to run for me. You're going to have to get a pulled hamstring because I'm keep sending you my info. I'm keep tagging your coaches in all my highlights. Yeah, I want to play for Coach Prime. Who, unless you're talking about some instant NIL money, that's a lot of money, and Coach Prime is just talking about zero. I'm sure it's not like that. If I got Texas A&M calling me saying, "Hey, we got this car dealership. They're gonna give you a truck. They're gonna put $100,000 in your pocket. They're gonna take care of your family. Your family can move to Texas. You know that's a huge deal." Coach Prime saying, "Hey, dog, you got an opportunity, dog, to come up here and play for me. We got 3 sets of cameras all over. We got Bucket filming. We got Darius filming. We got the pregame show filming. We got Amazon Prime filming. You're going to get your content, dog. And then they can mentor you and show you how to get it on your own using your YouTube. What you want to do, dog? Now, we can't line your pockets right off, but, we'll give you a little something. We'll have you this, that, and the other. You're going to be straight, and you're going to have plenty of deals from these local companies. I'm going with Coach Prime. That's just me, though. Forget the what they say, the fast nickel over the slow dollar. I'm going with Coach Prime. If he wants me, if he calls me, if he says anything about me, that's who I'm going with. But that's just me, though. A lot of people, who knows what they're thinking for real. But if you're talking about me, I'm going with the one and only Coach Prime. It ain't even a real, huge thought. Mine is a terrible thing to waste, so please just stop it. What are you saying? Just stop it. Who are you talking about, Surfer? I'm just going to say Colorado would beat. Oh, okay. I guess he's talking about this comment. I'm just going to say it. Colorado would beat Alabama, Georgia, and Michigan this year if they were on the schedule. I'm going to refer to this comment for you on that one. Mine is a terrible thing to waste. I will say this. Shedeur Sanders gives Colorado a chance to beat anyone, and that's because of quarterback play. You feel me? Shedeur Sanders gives Colorado a chance to beat anyone. All they're trying to do now is put other talent around him to make sure they're not, stunting his growth, so to speak. They're not holding him back, so to speak. Everybody they put around him, they're going to make sure they can ball out and they can play. It ain't going to be no game plan. They're not going to shortcome anything. Coach Prime is going to be full on go trying to get these players coming in. Talking about the D-line, even more, we can talk about them a little bit more in a minute. Great stuff. Way to break it down. Appreciate it, Doc. Any questions, let me know. Webb went to my high school. Shout out to Winona, baby, West Side. Shout out to my boy Jabo, who went to Winona also. You feel me? B-Ham in the building. Shout out to my boy Cadillac, also went to Winona. I remember visiting Winona one time. Big Dog, please look at the comment above, Lawrence. Yeah, that's what I responded to. Yep, I saw. A lot of the new commits will be backups, but the more you add, the more chances you have to find sleepers who can play. I agree. So you got to keep bringing in these guys constantly. The dude from Ole Miss, let me see here. The dude from Ole Miss, the D tackle, like he only had that one sack versus Georgia. I watched the film. I broke it down, but they wouldn't let me. I couldn't upload it. So, he could play. He could definitely play. He's strong. He's tough. He's low to the ground. Hard to move out of that middle. Has a nice motor. Got fooled a couple times on those read plays or those run PO plays, but that happens. You know what I mean? I think I had a comment from my dog Easy Does It up here that I missed. There you go. Oh yeah, that's my guy. Roddy White was the guy here for a long time. You must be in the ATL, my dog. Yep, that was Pollock. Yep, David Pollock. Shouts out to Athens, Georgia. Let me see and make sure I get all these comments. Just the facts. Just the facts TV. I already know he got some good. Let me read what he's saying. A competent quarterback always gives you a chance to come back. Exactly. 2 years legendary. Appreciate that. Just the facts. It's just the fact. That's what it is. You got Shedeur Sanders on your squad. You got a quarterback like him. You're gonna have a chance to win. Shedeur, I said this in one video. Shout out to RJ Young, #1 sports show, college football show. Three college football quarterbacks last year passed for over 3,500 yards, 40 touchdowns, 6 interceptions or less. One of them was drafted by the Texans at #2. That was C.J. Stroud from Ohio State. Then you got Caleb Williams, who did that last year from USC. Then you had Shedeur Sanders, who did that. Oh, well, he did it in the FCS. Well, how many FCS quarterbacks did that last year? Only one. That was Shedeur Sanders. 3,500 yards, 40 touchdowns, 6 or less interceptions. That was him. Only 3 in the whole league did it. Whole college football did it. 2 will be in the Pac-12 and battling out this year at USC and Colorado. Shedeur Sanders versus Caleb Williams. I'm riding with the 2 all the time. And I ain't talking. He's not the 2. He is the 1, but he wears #2, and that's Shedeur Sanders. I'm riding with him. If Coach Prime them can get somebody to wrangle up Caleb Williams, get some pass rushers, it's gonna be a long day for him. You feel me? Because that defensive backfield gonna be tough. He throw it up to the wrong side. Travis gonna get a pick. Kamani McClain gonna get a pick. Those wide receivers, I tell you what, one thing though, that dude Branch, the freshman, I saw him in person here in the Polynesian Bowl. You talking about quick, fast, and in a hurry. That boy can get off a jam in the phone booth for real. It don't matter. It could be this tight of space. He can get out and get open. You feel me? Make sure you leave your comments. Let me know what y'all thinking. We got a few more coming in. Make sure I get them. What it says. Zion says, Lawrence, RB, why the negativity? Okay. Nah. Any word from Brandon Baker, the tackle from California? I can look it up, but I haven't seen anything from Brandon Baker, the tackle from California. There's a lot of guys still in the portal that I think Coach Prime could be going after. Look out for the camps he has coming up. I'm sure he's going to offer somebody from there if he could find someone. But the latest guys in the portal are let's see here. Can you see? All right, Alvin Williams. He's an edge leaving Colorado. So Williams is leaving Colorado. All right, edge rusher. So some coming in, some going out. Who is this? Amari Ward inside. No, let me see. Jackson Garcia leaving Utah. He's an interior offensive lineman. Anthony Red from Syracuse. So a bunch of guys. Let me see. One who I would like to talk about, TJ Finley, the quarterback from Auburn. He's in there. A 3-star defensive lineman. CIOC. Let me see his last name. Finau. Big Uso, 6'3", 279 pounds out of UW. He could be joining Smalls coming over. So 6'2", actually 300-pound defensive tackle. He's from Washington. So a few other guys in this transfer portal that Coach Prime them can go after. What they've done so far. Oh, another wide receiver that we forgot to mention. 4-star. Played in 4 games as a freshman last year. Recorded 2 catches for 30 yards, 2 rushes for 10 yards. Auburn transfer who committed to Cincinnati at first, but then he decommitted. And now he's at Colorado. He's flipped to Varish Dawson. So Varish Dawson, he can ball, and he's super fast also. So we coming, man. And those Hellcats are coming at that wide receiver position. Brandon Baker, I haven't seen anything on him yet. I'll keep you informed, though. How many scholarships do you think they would leave open for graduate camp Colorado is having on May 30th? I think Coach Prime is going to offer at least one guy in that camp a scholarship. Anything after that, I don't know. It just depends on the type of talent that actually shows up and go there. So if you know any graduate guys and they can ball out, they need to be at that camp. They need to be at that camp. You got a Coach Prime camp going on. They need to be at that camp. You feel me? So let me see what else we got here. Yeah, that camp is May 30th. You got a few more camps coming up after that too. Jordan Tyson went to ASU with Arizona State. I'm from Alabama, so ASU to me is Alabama State. So yeah, I would think Arizona State. He would stay out there on the West Coast somewhere. Big 2-1. Shout out to you. Headache Gang CEO. Zion said, not being negative because I'm a huge Coach Prime fan, but don't make the mistake of not enjoying the ride. I like that. I like that. Don't make the mistake of not enjoying the ride. Enjoy this ride. This is some special, something different that's going on at Colorado, and Coach Prime changing the culture one player at a time. Put it like that. RJ Young is a beast, and I am a big supporter. Yep, for sure. He is an OU guy. Yep. But gives great takes on football. Much love. That's my brother right there. Name one reason why they couldn't. Coach Prime is not leaving CU. Okay, CU got tape on Jordan Tyson. Them DBs are getting physical with him. Oh, wow. How many games do you think Colorado is going to win this year? I'm a guy. I'm not saying less than, and this is huge. I'm saying 7 to 8 games, dog. 7 to 8 games, dog. You got to take in consideration the quarterback. You got to take in consideration the quarterback. You got to take in consideration the team that they're building right now. This is huge. This is huge. Shedeur is going to be the difference. Just like Caleb Williams, what's the difference? And, you got a bunch of other players coming over. But look at the players that they're adding. You guys can't let that go unnoticed. The guys that they're bringing over from the programs that they're bringing over and the caliber that they're bringing over and with the type of analytics that they're using to get these guys, which I talked about in the last video. Real analytics is what they're using to get these guys, meaning that they're using the analytics to measure their speed, their quickness, their explosiveness, just from the video that they have. They don't have to have the guys wearing the actual products to test them now. I don't know about y'all trenches, and did you follow JSU while Coach Prime was there? Yeah, of course. All Black said, ask me that question. Of course, I followed Coach Prime while he was at JSU. I had a comment on my Twitter trying to get at me. This is probably what Coach Prime be dealing with too. Hey man, why you covering Coach Prime in Colorado? Your whole page was built on Jackson State. Well, you got that wrong, sir. I did put some Jackson State content out there, but I was covering, as Neely told you guys, I'm covering Coach Prime. He could have went to Bethune, Axman, Jackson, Faxon State on the western coast of Australia. I would have followed him and I would have covered it. Come on, man. And then you come and say I shouldn't be covering Colorado. Hey, man, your 15 minutes of your 15 seconds is up. That's all. That's the only thing I'm gonna give to that. We can cover and do what we want to cover. Like Big Neely said, you feel me? We're following Coach Prime. Coach Prime goes to the moon. We're gonna cover and say, hey, all right, Coach Prime is on the move. On the moon. He's looking for recruits on the moon. You better go to the moon if you can play. If y'all got a problem with that, you know what to do. But that's what we're doing, man. Shout out to Coach Prime. We're gonna keep it Coach Prime. We're gonna keep it 100. Simple as that. So, yep, I did cover him while he was at Jackson State. Much love to Jackson State. Still got love to Jackson. I still share Jackson State content, and I hope they continue to succeed. What Coach Prime left there, he did not take it with him. He did not take it with him. He did not pick up the buildings and the track and field and the goal posts and the footballs and the jerseys and the helmets and the variety of this and that and the deals and the Pepsis and the American Airlines. He didn't pick up all that stuff and leave. They still got resources, and they're in a way better position than when he got there. Same way if Coach Prime leaves CU tomorrow or next month or 3 years from now, they're going to be in a way better position than before he got there. And you can only applaud that. If you're a real CU fan, 9 wins this year minimum. I hope so. I hope for the best. I hope for domination, baby. Do you think CU defense will surprise people? Well, they keep adding these guys. Let's just stop with the ad. Let's talk about the guys they have right now on this defense. The defense has a lot of guys that are looking to prove something. And when you're looking to prove something, that's when you can really ball out. I'm sitting looking at you trying to tell you that's when you can really ball out. When you're trying to prove something, when you got something to prove, when you got a chip on your shoulder, when people think you can't do it, that's when you really ball out. He brought a bunch of guys in that has that chip on their shoulder with blue chip aspirations, NFL aspirations. That's what they brought in on defense. And if it's a bunch of dogs, put it like this, man. Compared to the defense they just got rid of, a huge improvement. Huge improvement. Talent alone, huge improvement. If they can get them in the right position, do the right things. I love Smalls, man. A lot of people talk about how Smalls didn't produce at UW. This defense is going to have him produce because he's going to be attacking, not trying to read and react. Attack and go from there. So the defense is going to be fine, in my opinion. They're going to give Shedeur enough chances by getting off that field enough times. They got enough ball hawks back there at the safety and cornerback position that has great ball skills. They're going to get turnovers. And as much as the Pac-12 pass with the quarterbacks that they have, a lot of them overrated. Talk about how good they are. Coach Prime got something for that, dog. He got some. A lot of people don't even worry about defense in the Pac-12. Coach Prime got something for that. He coming with a whole different mentality. All right. I hate to do this, Lawrence RBE. Does Charles Offerdale get a scholarship on my team? Or do I think he's going to? Nah, he ain't going to get a scholarship, dog. Sorry, not Charlie. Just because of the numbers game. On the past team, he deserved a scholarship. Yeah, because of the guys that was on there and the effort they were showing. The effort that Charlie showed was what Coach Prime wanted to exhibit, wanted everybody else to show, but they wasn't. So he had to make an example. This is what I want right here, dog. This is what I want. But Charlie is a walk-on. If Charlie gets a scholarship, that shows you the amount of talent that Coach Prime couldn't bring in. All right? This is not Jackson State. This is not Santee Marshall. He's going to have plenty of talent back there at the running back position so that Charlie won't even get a chance to play. Sorry, it'll be just like the spring game. We should see Charlie this season with the talent that Coach Prime is bringing in. You got Smoke at running back. You got Mascagill supposed to be coming. You got Dylan Edwards back there. You got low to the ground Hankerson. You feel me? Hank the Tank. Come on, man. That's 4 right there off the top. So, nah. Sorry about that. He probably should be transferring to or staying there just, out of love. Even words on that big D, D tackle from JMC. What's JMC? Is that a community college? James Madison? I don't know. You got me on that one. I'll probably have to look it up, though. But we got so many guys coming in, man. I'm not going to act like we could just call them all by name off the top right now. Like Coach Prime said, you're going to have to learn some of these guys. Shout out to Jaquez Robinson, the cornerback who came over from Alabama. D-line transfer Amari McNeil from Tennessee to Colorado. Florida State transfer linebacker Brendan Gant. He committed to Colorado. Old Dominion transfer D tackle Chaz Wallace committed to Colorado. Florida State edge rusher Derek McClendon committed. Houston transfer running back Alton Massengill has received a crystal ball to CU. So they're predicting that he's going to come there. So a lot of guys, I think Coach Prime them just taking their pick right now. You feel me? Just taking their pick. Unless they don't get another running back. Yep. Branch is going to be a problem, but nothing that Buff D can't solve. I think the D is going to be a lot stouter than other people think. Yeah, I think so too. They're going to have to be stout. And with the guys they're bringing in now, they're going to have to be stout. Now, these defensive linemen that they brought in are, like I said, I like the 6'4", 6'6", 300 to 320-pound defensive linemen. That's what I like. 295-pound defensive linemen, they can go pass rush also. But that's what I like. They're bringing in more of 6'1", to 6'3" guys, 290 to 300-pound guys right now. So we'll see if that gets stepped up. I want to just show everybody this right here. This right here. Classic, ain't it? Easy. Classic. If you want to bid for it, you got to get you some Nafulu. Make sure you go Nafulu.com, Nafullo. That's my sponsor, Nafulu.com. Get you some crypto, black crypto at that. Produced by HBCU graduate. Get you some Nafulu.com, Nafullo.com. Check it out. All black, 4 wins. 4 wins maximum this season. Nah, dog. Who is your team? My team? Is that my question? Oh, no, Zion saying all black. Who is your team? Well, my team CU, baby. We're going with Coach Prime, baby. We building this thing like the free agency. I really think head coaches are low key hoping Coach Prime doesn't succeed, because if he does, you will probably see NFL coaches, NFL players going for HC at Power 5. Often imitated, never duplicated. You know what I'm saying? Coach Prime is Coach Prime, man. I don't care. Ray Lewis couldn't do this. Any other player came out trying to be a coach, couldn't duplicate it like this. Coach Prime been doing it. He had a career, been on top for 30 years. His sons are balling, and he coaching and balling out. But in between that, he was on the NFL Network building all these relationships for 14 years. Nobody can come out, former player or entertainer or whatever, can come out and compete with what this man right here is doing. This is the most unique thing you're probably going to see in your lifetime. For real. Straight up. It can't be duplicated. Nobody on social media is producing and just people wanting to watch and take in this type of content constantly from even Nick Saban. Because we wasn't invested in Nick Saban as kids. We wasn't playing football, high stepping, talking about I'm prime time. We didn't want Nick Saban's shoes. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. Nick Saban was a backup DB at Kent State or something? Cool. But he's a hell of a coach, along with Kirby Smart and Dabo Swinney. But none of those guys has the cultural impact that Coach Prime has. If you got any type of comment, question, leave it in the comment. Let's get to it. Shout out to my dog, David Talks Buffs. You feel me? I didn't even realize that was your comment, my dog. Who is my favorite transfer from this spring period so far? Great question. My favorite is I'll give you a few favorites. Forget it. We're not going to talk about the obvious with Shedeur and Travis and the big names. We're going to talk about a few guys who are my favorites. I said this last video. I like the offensive lineman, interior offensive lineman. I like Big Jack Wilty and Big Tyler Brown. I like the D tackles up front once I see more from them. I like the outside rushers from Austin. One of them was hurt this year, but I think he's a ball out coming from West Virginia University. I like the safeties that they added. I like the who else? Wide receiver position, especially. They really went hard there. Xavier Weaver is going to really surprise some people. He's the reason I think Montana Lamonius Craig left, because Craig was like, hey, coach, I'm going to keep it real with you, coach. Am I going to start? And coaches was like, dog, we can't tell you going to start right now, dog. Nah, dog. More than likely, no. You're not going to start, dog. We're going to bring in guys that we think can start over you. And Montana said, I'm out, because of guys like Xavier Weaver, Tavares Dawson, and a few other wide receivers, even the freshmen coming in, they have a chance to start because they're just so talented. So my favorite, if I have to pick one, good question. My favorite would be, let me look at the list right quick. Let me see. My favorite gonna be Smalls from UW, the outside rush linebacker. He the 5-star. He had the most pub behind him. He should have the most pressure on him to perform. He has the highest ceiling, I think. He should come out there and ball out coming off that defensive end. Coach Nick Williams is going to try to get everything he can up out of that guy. Mark my words. Watch out for the name. Big Savale Smalls. And he's going to make some big plays. Shouts out to you, my dog, David. Who else we got here? Surfer Boy. That backup QB situation at CU is sus right now at best. Coach Prime confirmed that we all knew there's not going to be a QB competition as long as his son is there. No need to be. Why should it be? What backup player, put up those type of numbers that like Shedeur did? None of them. None of them. So here we go. Laugh out loud. No, Charlie. All right. What do you think possible recruits at DB are thinking, looking at Coach Prime, Coach Kelly, and Coach Mathis? And do you think that matters to an NFL getting guys who are coached under Coach Prime? All right. So I think I know what you're trying to say, JP. Yes, of course. It's going to matter a lot, just like it matters when it's about those relationships. And like I said earlier, Coach Prime spent 14 years on the NFL Network building those relationships, letting people know he know what he's talking about, playing in the league, showing that he knows what he's talking about. So just like when players come out and they and they play for Nick Saban in the defensive backfield, they know that they've been coached a certain way. And if nobody drafts them, you know that guys who have relationships with Alabama or Nick Saban will give those guys a shot, i.e., Baltimore Ravens and their former general manager, Ozzie Newsome, who went to Alabama. He always drafted Alabama players. Bill Belichick, who Nick Saban coached under, they have that relationship. So Belichick knows that if Nick Saban coached this guy, he coached him a certain way. He demanded a certain thing from him, and he was very demanding on that player. I can be the same way. So, yeah, I'll give him a chance and draft him. That's why I think you saw Bill Belichick take a chance on who? Coach Prime's cornerback, Isaiah Bowden. Yeah, Isaiah Bowden measured at 6'2", ran a 4.3, but nobody took a chance on him to the 7th round. Who was that coach? Bill Belichick, because of relationships and understanding how that player was coached and who he was coached by. If a player is coached by Coach Prime, and then you got Coach Kelly, who won national championship with Bama and Florida State, and then you got Coach Mathis, who played 10 years in the league, coaching the player, they're going to give him a chance. I would, because he's been coached in a certain way. Just like, you don't want a certain type of guy dating your daughter. You don't want a certain type of girl dating your son because of why? The way they were raised. If they come from a good family background, they were raised a certain way, whether it was in the church, hard, whatever, that he can or she can date my child. Same thing, coach. Same thing. All right, Travis is a blocker and tackler. He wants to be 190 by the time he returns to campus. I think so also. If you look at Travis on the page, he posted him working out at wide receiver. So you know that he's trying to really improve those wide receiver skills that he has. He's trying to refine those things and get better at it. He played it, but it was more just off of natural skills and instinct. Now he's getting those refined things with Coach D-Rob down there in Texas. He's going to be a much better receiver than when he left to go down there. When he comes back, he's going to be much better at wide receiver. Do I think he should continue to? If they're running 150 plays on offense, Travis should only have probably about 50 plays at wide receiver, and 90% of the plays at cornerback. So about probably what is that, 20-30% at wide receiver, rest of it at cornerback. That's what I would look at for Travis Hunter if I was him, for sure. I'm so happy Deion got rid of all the dead weight. Yeah, you had to, unless you was going to be getting your butt kicked in there and be embarrassed on TV, everybody talking about you. And when you knew all you had to do was let's just do it from the jump. I'm getting rid of these guys now. Call me the bad guy. Call me what you want to call me. I'm getting rid of them now so that I don't have to deal with it later. I'm not going to go out here to battle with guys who I see and I know and practice. They're not ready yet. That'd be crazy. Come on, man. With Headache Gang CEO, he gonna have the D playing with that heat people be sleeping on. I agree. He gonna have them coming with that dog mentality that you got to have on defense. Big Dog really, bro. See you winning 7 to 8 games. I see 3-4 max for CU in 2023. Where do you see 7 to 8 wins? Just curious, bro. Well, I'm looking at this, and it has nothing to do with all these other teams out there. Who cares what they have? You feel me? They've been building for a while, but they can be beat also. I just gave you an example. Somebody asked me about when we played Georgia, when we played UAB played Georgia, when we all the teams we played, Florida State, all the big teams we played, we didn't lose by more than I think 10 points during those times. Because if you can ball out, if you got good teams, it don't matter who you're playing, how long that team been building. We was almost like an expansion team also. You can go play with those guys if you have the talent and if you have a quarterback, mainly, and somebody to protect the quarterback. Then you got somebody who can catch the ball. Then you got a defense who can really play, get after it. They're going to be competitive. Some of those teams are going to slip up. I'm going to call them out right now off the top of my head. Let me see if I can pull up their schedule. But if you just want to talk about off the top of my head, here it is. Let me see. Let's go football schedule, man. Man, it's hard as hell to navigate that website. But if you just want to talk about what teams that they'll beat or what teams that they're going to get those wins from, I'm going to tell you right now. The first game of the season is going to be a slip up by TCU. They're going to get done up. TCU, upset. I said it. We used to beat the brakes off TCU at UAB. What? And now they're a national power? Come on, man. You see how easy and how fast that can happen? That's within 15 years. Well, actually, 10 years. TCU then came up from the gutter. They didn't have the transfer portal. Coach Prime got the transfer portal, and he's Coach Prime. Y'all not seeing this. Y'all not hearing this. Y'all talking about y'all dismissing stuff because it was at the HBCU. Y'all must be crazy. The formula is the formula. Watch. We're going to talk about these teams real quick. Colorado starts the season 2-0. At the very worst, 1-1. But they're going to start the season 2-0. They go down to Fort Worth, Texas. They get a win in a shocker versus TCU. As TCU, just too many mistakes, too many turnovers and interceptions as the Colorado Buffaloes defense pulled this one out along with a great performance by their quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, who threw for 3 touchdowns and ran for 1. And the defense had 3 turnovers, 3 takeaways. Come on, man. My bad. That's what you was talking about. Probably was sick right there, huh? Straight up. So, boom, they go into the Colorado State game either 1-1 or 2-0, and you know they're going to blast Colorado State at Boulder. Bam. All of a sudden, the Colorado Buffaloes are 3-0 or 2-1. They have a winning record going into week 4 versus Oregon in Eugene. Come on now. Y'all come back to this and say Big Dog told you. Coach Prime is Coach Prime, 1-1, straight up. No BS. CSU, David Talk said, CSU, NU, Stanford, ASU were all 3-win teams last season. Exactly. CU also plays Wazoo and Arizona, who had losing records in the Pac-12. That's 6 wins right there. My dog David on top of it. On y'all ass. And without even reading your comment, let me see what you said. You said NU, Nebraska, okay. Stanford, okay. Yep. Let me go ahead. Let me just go down my list right here. So I got the Colorado State. That's a win. So we had 2-1 or either 3-0 with the upset at TCU. Beat Nebraska at home. Beat Colorado State at home. Boom. Go to Oregon. Good game right there. Bo Nix is not as good as people think. I said it. Bo Nix is not as good as people think. He throws turnovers. He fumbles one. That defense stands up. Shedeur Sanders can't be stopped once again. These guys just went into Oregon and got a big upset versus the Ducks. Colorado Buffs are now 4-0 or either 3-1. Man, Chico, you crazy. Chico, you crazy. How in the hell that's going to happen? Watch me now. All right. Now, the big game and the team that has been building in the portal for the last 2 years, and they have that legendary mystique, that history of a program, and they have the great coaching over there now, and they just brought in a new coach. Who's the last one? From Oklahoma, whoever, all these other names. They got great coaches, great recruiting, great facilities, great NIL situations, and they just got 2 or 3 guys out of transfer portal that can really ball. One from Bama, one from Georgia, who we were hoping to get at Colorado. So the USC game, that might be a definite loss. That's going to be the first definite loss I'm going to put on the schedule right there. It's USC. But who knows? Who knows? Caleb Williams could have gotten hurt in those first 3 weeks. And so he ain't starting for USC going into Boulder. And Shedeur Sanders lights it up. Now he's a Heisman front runner. Win or lose. Go into Tempe, Arizona, light them up. Big time win for a struggling program at Arizona State. They blow them out by 21. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 possible wins. So they're 4-2 right now at the very worst. 4-2 right now at the very worst at this point in the season. Going into Stanford, or Stanford coming into Boulder, they get spanked by Colorado. UCLA got spanked by Colorado. That might be a trap game right there at the Rose Bowl, though. You got to watch out for that. That could be a trap game. Could have gotten a little bit of cockiness coming on. That could be a trap game. Watch out for that. Oregon State, tough game, but they can't hang. They get beat. Arizona, shout out to my guy T-Mac down there. Shout out to the former coach from Colorado, my dog Mondo Hawkins. He's at Arizona now, but they cannot hang with the Boulder Buffs, Coach Prime and his squad in Folsom Field, November 11th, in the snow. They ball out. Running game on point for Colorado in that game. Defense stands up strong and picked off a couple times by Kamani McLean and Travis Hunter. Washington State, November 17th, Friday, to be announced in Washington. Whew, tough game right there. I'm not sure how that one to go. I got to see more of Washington State, but I'm going to go with the Buffs, though. Buffs pulled that one out. Close game, 17-13 in Washington. Utah. Whew. The Utes of Utah always got little strong wide receivers, fast running guys. Surprises me every time I watch Utah play with the amount of talent that they get to come up there and play in Utah. That's going to be a tough game, but who knows? I think the Buffs are going to win at least 7 to 8 games this year. They're going to shock the world. Shedeur Sanders is going to be up for Heisman. He might not win it, but he'll definitely be up there. And then next year, he'll be the favorite. He will be the favorite. No doubt, man. Man, I see a comment the other day saying Coach Prime bringing in too many black dudes. What? Well, they better get ready. Coach Prime said he don't care about the color, but you better get ready because you coming from the South, coming from Florida, you already know they're going to be, some of them can be, So get ready for it. Them dogs coming. Gold teeth, dreadlocks and all, and talking smack the whole time. You feel me? Them dogs coming. Rock is going to be solid. I agree with you about Weaver. Yes, sir. Do you think they should be targeting? Oh, what linebackers out there do you think they should be targeting? I would have to look through the portal, but like I said in the last video, they need to be targeting some big head middle linebackers who can really bring that thump, who can really hit something. You feel me? Who can run, tackle, and hit something. You need some run stuffers up that middle also. You can't be getting these guys just getting blocked and pushed away. They can't stop the run. Once the team get up on you, you can't stop the run. You don't need that. You need big guys up that middle who can push that pocket, play on the opposite side of the ball, play in the backfield, get in the quarterback face, pressure him to the outside to those edge rushers coming off. And then you need those middle linebackers who can also cover too, which I think Bentley is a cover guy more. DeMore Kennedy is a cover guy coming from Alabama. Gant looks like a cover guy to me also, but he's a heavy hitter. He can pop up that middle in between those tackles. So linebacker position is still a need, I think. Coach Prime is hip hop, definitely. How long do you think that would go on for y'all QB position? It's suspect, buddy. Okay. All right, Zion. Team lost. That team lost to Northwestern. Big 12 ran up on the big dogs of the SEC. TCU Big 12 ran up on the big dogs of the SEC, and you see what happened, right? Oregon is not a dominant powerhouse team. They can get exposed, and that's what's going to happen up there in Eugene. Everybody talk about Bo Nix. Bo Nix came over from Auburn. Bo Nix left the SEC because he couldn't cut it. See, he came over from Auburn where he was, as my boy Doug would say, trash. Hot trash. He was. Thought he was Cam Newton. Then he go to Oregon and lights it up. Man, come on. That's going to get exposed this year. Watch. Trash. Exposure. Watch. Wheat's foot with you. My brother, Wheat's foot with you? What's Wheat's foot? Big LT, what's happening? Nebraska, 4-win team, and 1 win was North Dakota State. Nebraska got a good head coach in, though. And they got a player, I can't call his name, that I really wanted to come to Colorado. I can't believe he went to Nebraska, though. But they got a good head coach, former coach from the Panthers. So he's going to be able to bring in some talent. Will he be able to win? I don't know. I don't think nobody want to go to Nebraska. I think since that coach Frost put that mystique on them, man, I don't think people really care about Nebraska right now. Nebraska 4-win team on 1 win at North. Okay. What's good with you? Mergod, Sam, what's up? Yeah, everything good, my guy. So as of now, do you think Shedeur has the proper protection that he needs with the guys we have so far? Herbert Jones, good question. My only concern with the offensive line right now would be just the offensive tackles. Big Savion Washington, I like him. He did a good job at Kent State last year, but can he sustain in that Pac-12 with those big, strong, powerful edge rushers, especially like UW and USC have? Same thing with Big Tank last year. How good was he last year? He did some good protection last year, but he did get beat by those smaller guys. So we'll have to see how those offensive tackles hold up. You do have Jada at tackle. You do have Big Landon Beebe coming over. You do have the tackle they just signed from Liberty University. So you're bringing in some more depth at the tackle position. So we'll see how they hold up. Right now, I think they have their starters, though. I'm loving this Colorado new. I would too if I was you. CU is 3-0 versus Nebraska last 3 games. Why not keep that going? Folks don't remember that hit Shiloh put on Bo Nix when he was at South Carolina. I need to pull that up. Got 2 players on the D lineman today. Yep, we talked about that. 0-16 against USC all time. Pain. Straight up. But those things can change. I think in the next 2 years, they're going to beat USC, especially after Caleb Williams leave. And Shedeur's still there. USC got exposed by Tulane. They are not a powerhouse. All right. Shout out to Tulane. Y'all got to stop. Y'all got to stop downing a lot of these smaller schools. You feel me? Tulane produced some ballers also. Like I said, they just don't have. If USC got 50 dogs, a school like Tulane probably got 15, 20, and they having to compete against them. That's the difference. Chico, it's okay to dream, bro, but you are going to get a rude awakening if you really think 7 to 8 games. Listen, I'm talking about from football experience, dog. I ain't talking about from what I think or just heart or just based on what other school. I'm talking about football experience. You got a quarterback, you got a chance to win. Then you got these coaching staff that Coach Prime. Listen, man, they're gonna ball out this year. Just watch. Watch what me tell you. They can beat USC. It's any given Saturday. Yep. As Herbert Jones said. Keep sleeping on prime Georgia Bulldogs won't be the same, buddy. And all those Jimbo lovers, Kirby lovers, Dabo lovers, Nick Saban lovers, all of them lovers. You better get ready for Coach Prime. It's a new sheriff in town. The transfer portal reset everybody team. Utah won't have their starting quarterback. That could be a win. Exactly. Yep, just got a new recruit from Florida. And everybody talking about the guys coming over from Florida. He's going to have 20 guys from Florida at least on his football team. That team is the heart of the team is going to be from the FLA, from Florida. And that is not a bad thing. That's an excellent thing. Excellent thing. 2 from Florida, I think. I'm not really worried about the backup quarterback. I like Staub. I like Case and Wiseman, who's coming in from the state of Georgia. I like those guys. I think they could play. And I think Shedeur has been pretty durable. So we'll see, though. We'll see coming up. So big discussion that we just had, man. I appreciate you guys. That was an hour long. We'll be back later on today. We're going to bring out some more content. And we're going to chop this up and bring out some content also. Shedeur Sanders, Heisman Trophy candidate. Get ready for it. I already called it, and I'm going to keep calling it. And you have issues beyond coaching staff. I agree. Will Charlie said, will Charlie win the Heisman? Catching the Pac-12 up stick. Yep. They loaded, man. So get ready for it. I got more questions coming in. They keep coming. Chico, Chico just need more. So, yeah, thank you guys, man. I appreciate you guys. David Talks Buffs, all you guys. Buff Nation, Ed Houston, you already know what time it is, man. BIWDOW, I'm out this thing. Peace in the Middle East. Yeah, y'all.